Once again, my dear students of grade 9, welcome back to my English class. It's RK English YouTube channel. Students, today we have unit number 15, People and Lifestyle. In unit number 15, students, we have reading first text that we will discuss in today's class. Before we discuss reading one, students, let's talk about this picture. Here we start, students, the first picture and the second picture and 3 and 4. We have 4 pictures given, students. Look at the picture pairs of pictures and talk about the differences with your classmate. Students, first you need to recognize and identify these picture, then you have to find the difference. Okay, the first pair of picture we can see. Yes, students, in the first pair we can see both picture are the classroom picture, and let's find out the difference. What difference do you find in these picture? Students, in the first picture we can see this is the traditional way of teaching style that we have been following for many years, and where a teacher is teaching students and uh, you know from book, and students are learning from books. And in the second picture we can see it's a modern way of learning, and where students are having their own laptop, and they are learning from laptop. So this is the basic difference, students, where it's a modern way and this is a traditional way. Now second pair of picture we have, you can see here are two pictures. So in the first picture we can see, students, it's again the traditional way of harvesting and collecting food product, and you can see so many people are working and they are cutting paddy. Means there we need a lot of manpower to to finish and to do all these agriculture work. Here in the second picture we can see it's a machine. It's a you know super fast machine that's working, and it's harvesting the paddy. It means this is the modern way of doing agriculture task, and it is a modern way of harvesting. Students, these are some differences between these two pair of picture, students. It's all about your picture. Now move to its text, students. The first, look at the picture and answer the following question. Again we have a picture, students. Here we have two questions. The first one is, what do you think the name of the girl is? Yes, students, can you know this girl in the picture? Yes, obviously, student, it's Anne Frank. Anne Frank is the girl, students, in the picture. And the B, what do you think made her so popular? What made her so popular, students? Her diary made her so popular. This is all about your pictures again. Now move to its text. Here we have the text, students, the diary of a young girl. This is the text that we are going to study in today's class. Now, the first paragraph, here we start. Saturday, June 20th, 1942. Okay, it was the time, we can see it's a time after Second World War. It was June 20 and 1942. Writing in a diary is really strange experience for someone like me, not only because I have never written anything before, but also because it seems to me that later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the musings of 13-year-old schoolgirl. Yes, students, writing is really a strange thing. Okay, unlike other, writing is also a strange thing for her, she says, and because she never had written diary so far. That's why it's a strange thing for her, unlike like other people. Seems to that later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the mushing. It's a meditation, okay, of a 13-year-old schoolgirl. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I feel like writing, and I have an even greater need to get all kind of things off my chest. Students, she was about young 13-year girls and a schoolgirl, and she says that it doesn't matter, and I feel like writing, and I have a even greater need to get all the things up. And while writing diary, that young girl, she had everything inside in her chest. Chest means, students, of chest means she wants to pour out whatever she feels inside her, and she wants to pour out. When she wants to pour out, and she wants to write on the diary. This is what she want to express through the diary. Paper has more patience than people. I thought of this saying on one of those days when I was feeling a little depressed and sitting at home with my chin in my hands, bored and listless. It's a lethargic, wondering whether to stay in or go out. She thinks that the paper has more patience than the people. It means that she thinks that people wouldn't people may listen to her or not. Okay, they may listen or they may not, but she thinks that paper has more patience than people. That's why she prefer the papers, and that's why she started writing diary. I thought of this saying on one day those that when I was feeling a little depressed, was sitting at home. Yes, she was a little depressed, and she was sitting at home with the chin, in his hand, and bored and listless. Listless students, it's lethargic and wondering whether to stay in or go out. Yet she was, wondering, and she was wonder whether she should stay inside or go out. And she was feeling a little depressed, and she was sitting at home with the chin, and she was confused, and she was wondered whether to go out and be stay inside. Finally, I finally stayed where I was boarding as a worry about, and yes, paper does have more patience. And since I am not planning to let anyone else read this stiff bagged notebook, gradually prefers to as a diary unless I should even ever find a real friend. It probably won't make a bit of difference. The students now, as I told that she had preferred the paper, and to write on that, and everything she want to she could express, and she could write on the diary. And she always preferred the diary writing, and gradually, and she felt, she wanted to make a friend, a friend that can hear her and that can understand her, and that's why she wanted the diary to be her friend. And that's why she it probably won't make a bit of difference. Not, I'm back to the point that prompted me to keep a diary in the first place. I don't have a friend. Yes, in this paragraph, students, she wants to mention that she doesn't have any friend, and she wants to have a friend where she can express her feeling, where she can pour out her feeling, and that's why she wanted to make that diary her friend. And that's why, and she prompted me because this is the main reason, and to writing this diary and making this diary a friend. And this paragraph clearly shows that students, she was feeling lonely, she was feeling alone and depressed, and she was very much in depressed situation. And she was looking, it means that she had no one, she has no one to speak, and she has no one to with who can with the she can express her feeling. And that's why she was looking for a real friend. And of course, she then preferred, she had chosen a diary to be her friend. And that's why she started writing a diary. This is what she is expressing in this paragraph. Let me put it more clearly, since no one will believe that a 13-year-old is completely done alone in the world. Here in this first line, student, she want to clear one thing, that people won't believe that a 13-year-old girl is alone in this world. And I'm not. Yes, of course, she's not. I have loving parents and a 16-year-old sister, and three, and there are about 30 people I can call friend. Now, students, she's going to talk about her family also. She said that she's having a parents and a 16-year-old sister also, and she's elder than her. And there are about 30 people I can talk, I can call a friend. There are also 30 people, students, with whom she can talk and with whom she can express her feeling. I have a strong of admirers who can keep their adoring eyes off me, and who sometimes have to resort to using a broken pocket mirror to try and catch a glimpse of me in a classroom. Thrown student, it's a mass, and adoring means faithful. She also says that that I have admired, I have the people who always praise me. Throne is many people, crowd of, they are, she also says that she has a crowd of people who always admire her, and who can keep their faithful eyes on me and on her, and who sometimes have a look to using a broken pocket mirror to try and catch a look of me in the classroom. Here is a glimpse means it's a look, one look of something. It means they have the people, and they have also friend in the classroom who can admire, who always admire her, and who always have a faithful eyes on her. This is she has everything. She has loving parents, she has a 16-year-old sister also, along with she has the people who love her very much. I have a family loving aunts and a good home. Also, she had a family loving aunt and aunt and a good home. No one on the surface. I seem to have everything except my one true friend. In this line, student, she says that she has everything. She has family, she has friends, she has loving, people also, auntie and uncle. But she doesn't have a true and real friend. That is what she is, facing, and that is she was looking, real friend and true friend. All I think about when I'm with friend is having a good time. Yeah, she always think about having a good time with that real friend. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary everything, everyday things. We don't seem to be able to get my closer, and that is the problem. Maybe it's my fault that we don't confide in each other. In any case, that's just how things are, and unfortunately they are not liable to change. That's why I started the diary. It's very clear, students, in this paragraph. Liable student is the it's responsible, and confined is the connected. She says in this paragraph that she has everything. She has family and all, she has a friend also, she has a loving and caring friend and sister, she has everything. But she doesn't have a good and real friend with whom she can express her feeling. And the, you know uh, that's what she's looking for. She's looking for a good friend. And finally she had chosen the diary as her friend, and where she started writing, I think so. And this is what she's expressing in this paragraph whole. Okay, to enhance the image of this long awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down, students, to write quickly the fact in the diary the way the most people would do, but I want the diary to be my friend, and I am going to call his friend Kitty. Yes, students, her writing journey started. Okay, her writing diary, how she has, why, and how she started writing diary, we have discussed. And then in this paragraph, it was just imagination for her, and she doesn't want to write down quickly the fact in the diary. Okay, because students, and then uh, you know uh, then what happened, and she made the diary her friend. She made this diary her friend, and she also named her. Okay, it's very very strange thing. And she also named that diary the Kitty. Kitty was the name of that diary, and which she had made her friend. Yes, of course, students. She wanted the diary to be her best friend and real friend, and where she can write everything she feels inside her. And later on, she named this diary also a Kitty. Since no one would understand a word of my story to Kitty if I were to plunge it thrown oneself right in, I had better provided a brief sketch of my life, much I dislike going so. My father, the most adorable, adorable student, the lovable father I have ever seen, didn't didn't marry my mother until he was 36 and she was 25. Yes, students, now in this paragraph she says that her father was very very loving father, and she has never seen such a good father. And her father didn't got married until the age of 36. And also her mother also didn't got married before 25. It means when her father was 26 and her mother was 25, they both got married. My sister Margot was born in Frankfurt am in Germany in 1926. Then students, her sister, that is elder sister named Margot, she was born in Frankfurt, and she was and that Anne, and she was in 1926. I was born on June 12, 1929. Yes, she was born when 12 June 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. At the age of 4, until the age of 4, she used to live in Frankfurt. Because we were Jewish, my father migrated to Holland in 1933. Because their father, they were Jewish, and they were Judaism religion. They belong to Judaism religion, and her father, they have come to my father, they moved to they have moved to Holland in 1923. Migrated, mean to relocate or move to some other place. When he became the managing director of Dutch Opekta company, this then students, her father, they became the head of the company, and the name of the company was Dutch Opekta company, and his father became the head of that company, which manufactures products using in making jam. This company used to make jams, and my father, Edith's Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland in September, while Margaret and I were sent to Aachen to stay with our grandmother. The students, her mother and Edith Holder, they went with him to Holland, and in September, in the month of September. But Margaret, her sister Margaret, and me, and both they went to Holland. They went to Aachen. It's a place to stay with their grandmother was living there, and they have been sent to the grandmother house. Margaret went to Holland in December, and I followed in February when I was plunked is the hit abruptly down on the table as a birthday present for the Margaret. Yes, students, Margaret again went to Holland in the month of December, and similarly, and she also in February she went there when she was hit abruptly down on the table as a birthday present for Margaret, and she had to present a birthday for Margaret's sister. She's the sister, and I started right away at the Montessori Nursery School. Then she joined, immediately at Montessori Nursery School, and I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I started first grade. She studied and she stayed until she was 6 years old, and she was in first grade students. So, and in sixth grade, my teacher was Miss Kuferas, the principal. During that sixth grade, her principal name was Kuferas. Okay, at the end of the year, we both were in tears as we said heartbreaking as a upsetting farewell. Yes, but at the end of the year, student, both of them, she had to depart from there, and it was heartbreaking. It's upsetting, farewell. We can say farewell, because I had been accepted at the Jewish Lyceum where Margaret also went to school. Okay, because it was a heartbreaking moment for both of them. They are going to depart from each other, and it's a very very upsetting for for both of them. Our lives were not without anxiety. Yes, without anxiety here, students. So they were in anxiety, they were in trouble. We can say anxiety is worry. Their life wasn't very good. They were facing problem, they were in anxiety since our relatives in Germany were suffering under Hitler anti-Jewish law. Okay, because their relative who are living in Germany, they all are suffering from the anti-Jewish law. Here in the next paragraph, students. So after the program is pogroms in 1938, my two uncle, my mother's brothers, it's fled Germany, finding safe refuge in North America. Shelter. A refuge, students, meaning the shelter from danger. When somebody looks for a safe place from the danger, that is called the refuge. Okay, this means after the programs in 1938, there was danger. I can say they were in trouble and they were looking for a safer place because of that Hitler's Jewish law. And we are two uncles, two uncles, brothers. They went Germany and they start finding a safe place in the North America because of that Jewish, very cruel Jewish law. Fled Germany. Yes, my elderly grandmother came to live with us. She was 73 years old at that time. But at that time, at that moment, her grandmother came to live with us, and at that time, she was about 73 years old woman. After May 1940, the good times were few and far between. Yes, students, it was the time. It was not a good time, but after May 1940, the good time were few, very few. The people are having very few good time, and first there was war, then the its capitulation is a surrender, and then the arrival of Germans. Yes, it was the time when they surrendered, and this is the time of Germans' arrival, which is when the trouble started for the job. Now, the trouble time started for the Jews. Our freedom was severely restricted by a series of anti-Jewish decrees in an official order. Yes, students, they were not free, and their freedom was totally restricted and dominated by a series of. There are many you can say restriction, on them by anti-Jewish. Okay, the Jewish were required to wear a yellow star. Jews were required to turn in yellow bicycle. Yes, students, the people Jewish they were supposed to, and they are required to be a yellowish color star, and they are required to turn in yellow bicycle. They were also forbidden, and refused to allow or use streetcar. Student, they were not okay allowed to use the streetcar, and Jews were forbidden to ride in cars, and even their own Jews were required to do their shopping between. There was restriction also, time restriction also, students along with, and they all are supposed to shop between 3 to 5 p.m only. Okay, there was time restriction also. Jews were required to frequent only Jews owned barber shop and beauty parlor. Again, if they want their hair cut and they want to go beauty parlor, they only can go, they are required to go Jewish owned barber shop only. Okay, they can't go anywhere other than Jewish barber shop. The they were forbidden to be on out of the street between 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Yes, students, they can go out and in the street. It was again time restriction. It was the time 8 p.m. and 6 p.m. is the time when they can go out in the street. Jews were forbidden to attend theater, movie, or any other forms of entertainment. Okay, they are also students prohibited from having enjoying theater, movies, and other form of entertainment. It means they are totally restriction. They had many restriction on them, and where they were suffering. Jews were forbidden to swimming pool, also tennis courts, hockey, and other athletic field. Students there were so many sports restriction also on them because they could not able to. No, they were not allowed to use swimming pool, tennis court, and hockey field, and they were also forbidden from sports activities also. They were forbidden to go rowing. It's a kind of boating sports. Rowing means a kind of, it's a boating sports. They cannot do that also. Jews were forbidden to take part in any athlete. It means they were not allowed to take part in any sports athletic activities. Public Jews were forbidden to sit in their garden or those of their friends after 8 p.m. Okay, they are also not allowed to sit in the garden, and after 8 p.m. They are not allowed to be there. Jews were forbidden to visit Christian in their homes. They are also not to allowed to visit Christian and in their homes. Jews are required to attend Jewish school. Yes, they are only required to attend the Jewish school. You could not do this, and you could not do this, but life went on. But life was going on, but there are so many restrictions on them because of that anti-Jewish law, and that people in Germany, and they are facing this cruel moment and very crucial moment and difficult time. And that is what she she is mentioning in this paragraph. And Jax always said to me, I don't dare do anything anymore because I am afraid it's not allowed. Yes, it means nobody has the courage, nobody has the courage to act out over there because they are abroad, they are not allowed to do that one. This is in this paragraph, students. So we have talked about the many restriction on Jewish and by the anti-Jewish law, and they were in trouble. They were living very miserable life, and they are not free. I can see, and many restrictions was on them. This is all about this paragraph. Now next is here we have in the summer of 1941, grandma got sick and had to have an operation. Okay, in 1941, her grandma was sick and became sick and ill, and she had to undergo an operation. So my birthday passed with a little celebration. That's why she could not celebrate his birthday because his grandma became sick and she was about to to have an operation. That's why she didn't had a good birthday celebration in the summer 1940. We didn't do much for my birthday either since the fighting had just ended in Holland. Now all the combat and the fighting had just finished in Holland, and all was good. And grandma died in 19 January 1942. Students, it was in a very miserable and terrible moment and a sad moment for him that her grandma died in 1942 January. No one knows how often. Okay, no one knows why how it happened, and I think of her and still love her. Yes, she think of her and she always love her. Her this birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make up for the others, and Grandma Candle was lit alone with the rest. And it was a time when her grandmother also died, and she passed away, and it was grandma candles, it was lit along with the rest. The four of all us are still doing well. Four of us students, the family members, okay, uh, of her. And well, that brings me to the present date of, and really it brings it brings her to that day of June 1942, and the solemn is the sincere student dedication of my diary. And it also shows the solemn declaration of her diary. Yes, student, this is the article, and which is adapted from the diary of young girl by Anne Frank, and she's the writer itself. Students, in this lesson, in today's lesson, we have talked about reading first part of unit number 15, that is people and lifestyle. Students, we have talked about the diary of a young girl, that is Anne Frank, and how and why she started writing the diary. And this is all about the today's class, students. With that, I come to an end of today's lesson here. I will come with its exercise in next video. Till then, students, keep watching my videos. See you in the next one. Have a good day, my dear students.